Most men think they understand when a woman is truly serious about them. They look for words, promises, or grand gestures. But the truth is far quieter, and far more powerful. A woman who wants to go far with you will never shout it. She will show it in ways that only a man who has lived, observed, and endured can recognize. She invests in you without being asked. She watches your life unfold, not just your moments of pleasure. She trusts you with her real self, and she considers your inner world even when you say nothing. In this video, we will uncover 6 unmistakable signs that a woman intends to walk with you long-term, signs that go beyond words, beyond appearances, and beyond fleeting attraction. If you pay attention, you will see the truth she reveals quietly, and it will change the way you understand love forever. Welcome to the channel, Stoic Love Wisdom. This is where every story and lesson about love will help you find the answer. Today, we will explore a new perspective through the topic, 6 signs that a woman wants to take things further with you. These are real-life experiences and profound lessons that will change the way you perceive love. Follow me, because the most surprising and interesting things are still waiting for you ahead. Before starting, find a quiet place, put on your headphones and relax your mind. Let the sharing in this video help you feel more fully and enjoy every meaningful moment. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's begin. Sign number 1, she invests without being asked. When a woman truly wants to go far with you, she doesn't announce it. She doesn't sit you down and confess her intentions. She invests, quietly, consistently, without being asked. And this is where most men get confused. They look for grand gestures, long emotional messages, clear verbal reassurance. But an experienced man knows better. A woman who wants you in her life long-term will do one thing above all else. She will make your presence part of her routine. Not out of obligation. Not because you chased. But because she chose. She reaches out, not desperately, not excessively, but intentionally. A short message. A check-in. A continuation of a conversation that ended hours or days ago. Not to entertain herself. Not because she's bored. But because you crossed an invisible threshold in her mind. You became relevant. A Stoic man understands this truth. Time is the most honest currency a woman has. She may flirt with many. She may enjoy attention from dozens. But she invests time only where she feels emotional gravity. When she remembers what you said days ago. When she brings it up without prompting. When she follows through on things she promised. That is not accidental. That is subconscious attachment forming. Here's what inexperienced men often do wrong. They mistake constant availability for interest. They think fast replies mean attraction. They confuse politeness with desire. A woman who wants to pass time will respond. A woman who wants to build something will initiate. And there is a difference you can feel in your bones once you've lived long enough. She doesn't message to impress you. She messages to maintain connection. She doesn't fear silence, because she knows you'll still be there. She doesn't chase, because she doesn't need to. She simply stays present. Stoicism teaches us to observe behavior, not words. And behavior never lies. Another subtle sign. She adjusts her timing to you. She replies when she knows you're free. She remembers your schedule. She respects your space, but doesn't disappear into it. This balance is rare. And it's powerful. It means she sees you as a man with a life, and wants to fit into it, not dominate it. Understand this carefully. A woman who wants to go far with you will not test how much you chase. She will test whether you remain grounded while she moves closer. And here's the Stoic rule most men ignore. If she invests, you remain steady. If she pulls back, you don't panic. If she returns, you don't resent. You simply observe. Because emotional maturity is attractive. Neediness repels. And calm confidence invites deeper attachment. One last truth, uncomfortable, but necessary. If you are always the one initiating. If the connection dies the moment you stop trying. If silence feels like punishment. She is not planning a future with you. She is enjoying attention in the present. A woman who wants to go far doesn't disappear when effort isn't demanded. She remains, because she chooses to. And when you notice that choice, you don't rush. You don't cling. You don't demand clarity. You allow her investment to grow, naturally. Because the strongest bonds are never forced. They are built quietly. By two people who recognize value, and refuse to beg for it. Sign number 2, she cares about the direction of your life. A woman who only wants attention is curious about how you feel today. A woman who wants to go far is curious about where your life is heading. This difference is subtle, and most men miss it. She doesn't just ask, "How was your day?" She asks why your days look the way they do. She wants to understand. What drives you when no one is watching? What you're building, even if it's unfinished. What pressure you carry silently. Not to fix you. Not to control you. But to see whether your direction aligns with hers. An experienced man knows this. Women don't commit to comfort. They commit to trajectory. She is not evaluating your current status. She is evaluating your movement. A Stoic man is not defined by his position, but by his path. And when a woman senses that you are walking your path with discipline and clarity, her curiosity deepens. You'll notice it in the way she listens. She doesn't interrupt. She doesn't redirect the conversation back to herself. She remembers details that don't benefit her immediately. Because she's not collecting information. She's assessing compatibility over time. Another important sign. She respects your struggle. A woman who wants quick excitement will lose interest when life gets heavy. A woman who wants depth will lean in when she senses weight. She may not understand every decision you make. But she wants to know why you make them. And that matters. Stoicism teaches us that a man's worth is revealed not in ease, but in resistance. And women who seek long-term bonds are instinctively drawn to men who can carry pressure without collapsing into complaint. Pay attention to this moment. You share something uncertain. A risk. A challenge. A long road ahead. She doesn't mock it. She doesn't minimize it. She doesn't immediately ask what she gets out of it. Instead, she asks questions that sound like concern, but are actually alignment checks. Is this what you really want? How long do you think it will take? Does this make you fulfilled? These are not doubts. These are filters. She is not deciding whether to stay right now. She is deciding whether you are a man worth staying with later. Here's the mistake many men make. They oversell. They exaggerate. They turn uncertainty into bravado. But a Stoic man does the opposite. He speaks calmly about his plans. He admits what he doesn't know. He stands firmly in what he does. And that steadiness creates trust. A woman who wants to go far is not attracted to ambition alone. She is attracted to consistency between thought, word, and action. If you say you value discipline, she watches your habits. If you speak of purpose, she observes your sacrifices. If you claim independence, she notices how you handle temptation. She is always watching, quietly. And when she continues to ask about your work, your goals, your stress, even when it doesn't benefit her emotionally in the moment, that is not curiosity. That is investment. One final truth, spoken plainly. If a woman avoids conversations about your future, If she changes the subject when life gets serious. If she only engages when things are light and entertaining. She is not planning to walk with you through time. A woman who wants to go far doesn't need promises. She needs direction. And when she sees a man moving forward, even slowly, with integrity and self-command, she doesn't rush him. She stays close. She observes. She decides, silently. Because commitment, to a woman like that, is not emotional. It is strategic. Have you ever realized that, in love, moments of silence are sometimes more powerful than 1,000 words? Because in silence, we can hear our heartbeat more clearly and feel the presence of the other person more deeply. Here, I want to explore with you that strength, peace, and stability even when love goes through challenges. If you feel that these shares bring you something positive, please click like to support. And if you haven't clicked subscribe, do it now, so you don't miss any insight into love and maturity. I also hope to hear your story. What is the most valuable lesson that love has taught you? Please share in the comments section so we can learn and be inspired together. Come on, let's move on to the next part with a more prepared mind. Sign number 3, she wants to be with you when there is nothing to prove. At some point in a man's life, he learns a quiet truth. Attraction built on excitement fades. Connection built on presence endures. A woman who wants to go far with you will not always seek stimulation. She will seek stillness, and choose you inside it. This is where many men misunderstand desire. They believe they must constantly impress. Constantly entertain. Constantly perform. But performance creates tension. And tension cannot survive time. A Stoic man understands that real intimacy begins when there is nothing left to display. When a woman is comfortable sitting beside you in silence. When she doesn't demand constant validation. When she doesn't need a reason to stay. That is not boredom. That is trust forming at a deep level. She is not with you because of what you provide in the moment. She is with you because of how she feels in your presence. Calm. Safe. Grounded. This is rare. Most relationships collapse because both people are addicted to stimulation. When the noise fades, so does the connection. But a woman who wants something real does something different. She lowers her guard. She doesn't dress to impress every time. She doesn't curate every word. She allows moments to be unremarkable. And in those unremarkable moments, she is watching something critical. How you exist when there is no audience. Stoicism teaches that a man's true character appears in simplicity. Not in abundance. Not in applause. And women who seek long-term bonds are instinctively drawn to men who are at ease with themselves. Pay attention to how she behaves during ordinary time. No plans. No excitement. No agenda. Does she rush to leave? Or does she linger? Does she reach for her phone to escape the moment? Or does she remain present? A woman who wants to go far does not fear stillness. She uses it to test depth. Here's a detail many men overlook. She doesn't feel the need to constantly talk, but she listens when you do. She doesn't fill silence with anxiety, she shares it with you. That silence is not empty. It is communication without words. Another sign of this stage. She is not trying to impress you, and she doesn't expect you to impress her. There is no negotiation of value. No competition. No subtle power games. Just coexistence. And coexistence is the foundation of longevity. An inexperienced man may interpret this as loss of attraction. He may try to reignite excitement artificially. But a seasoned man remains still. Because he understands that excitement is easy to create, and easy to lose. But comfort paired with respect? That takes time. One uncomfortable truth. If a woman is only present when there is entertainment, validation, or benefit, she is not choosing you. She is choosing the experience. But when she stays during the ordinary, during the quiet, during the uncelebrated, she is choosing the man. And that choice matters more than any words she could speak. A Stoic man does not rush intimacy. He allows space for authenticity. He doesn't fear silence. He doesn't chase stimulation. He doesn't confuse peace with indifference. Because he knows. A woman who can sit with you in stillness is a woman who can walk with you through life. And life, eventually, becomes very quiet. Sign number 4, she allows you to see her unpolished self. A woman does not reveal her vulnerability by accident. She reveals it when she feels safe. Not excited. Not impressed. Safe. This distinction matters. Excitement fades. Impression shifts. But safety, once established, changes the dynamic entirely. A woman who wants to go far with you will eventually stop performing. She will no longer curate every emotion. She will no longer filter every reaction. She will allow moments where she is unsure, tired, emotional, or imperfect. And this is where many men fail the test, without even realizing it. They rush to fix. They judge. They minimize. They turn her vulnerability into a problem that needs solving. A Stoic man does none of these. He listens without urgency. He holds space without dominance. He remains grounded while she unfolds. Because he understands. Vulnerability is not a request for solutions. It is a request for presence. When she shares past disappointments. When she admits fear of being hurt. When she speaks about insecurities she never jokes about. She is not seeking reassurance. She is evaluating your emotional stability. She is asking, silently, can I be real with you and still be respected? This is a crucial moment. If you react emotionally, if you become uncomfortable, if you try to control the narrative, she will retreat, not dramatically, but permanently. Stoicism teaches that strength is quiet. And women are drawn to men whose strength does not disappear in emotional weather. Another important sign. She no longer needs to appear strong around you. She may admit confusion. She may express doubt. She may even cry without apology. Not because she is weak, but because she trusts you not to exploit her openness. This is not attraction in its early form. This is bonding. A woman will flirt with many men. She will laugh with a few. But she will only open emotionally to one she believes can carry her truth without breaking. Notice this carefully. She does not reveal everything at once. She releases layers, slowly, carefully. Each layer is a test. Not of your loyalty. Not of your kindness. But of your emotional restraint. A Stoic man does not overreact. He does not dramatize. He does not turn her pain into a platform for his ego. He remains steady. And steadiness creates attachment deeper than passion ever could. One difficult truth. If a woman never shows you her unpolished side, if she is always fine, if she never allows emotional imperfection around you, she is not preparing for a future with you. She is maintaining an image. A woman who wants to go far does not need to be admired constantly. She needs to be accepted fully. And acceptance, in its truest form, is quiet. It does not interrupt. It does not judge. It does not rush. It stays. A Stoic man understands this final principle. When a woman trusts you with her vulnerability, your job is not to lead, but to remain solid. Because from that moment on, you are no longer just a man she desires. You are a man she feels safe becoming real with. And that is the foundation of everything that lasts. At this point, you may have seen yourself in the stories above, sometimes weak, sometimes strong, and sometimes not knowing what to do in love. But it is those moments that make us real and worthy of respect. If you feel the same, please click like to let me know you are here, accompanying me. And if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, don't hesitate, because every day I will share more stories and new lessons, to help you have a calmer view of love. Now, let's move on to the final part, where we will touch on deeper things. Sign number 5, she starts placing you inside her future. A woman does not imagine the future with just anyone. She imagines it with men who feel stable in time. This is not romance. This is instinct. When a woman begins to see you as part of her future, she will not announce it dramatically. She will test the idea, softly, indirectly, without pressure. And a seasoned man recognizes these tests immediately. She speaks in conditional language. If we ever. When you're older. One day you might. These are not fantasies. They are probes. She is observing how you react to the idea of continuity. Do you tense up? Do you joke it away? Do you lean too far forward? Or do you remain calm, neither resisting nor clinging? A stoic man does not rush ahead of life. He walks at its pace. And that composure tells her something important. You are not afraid of time. She may ask questions that seem casual, but are anything but. Where would you live if you could choose? How do you think about family? What does a meaningful life look like to you? These are not conversations for entertainment. These are alignment checks. She is not asking for promises. She is evaluating whether your vision can exist beside hers, without force. Here's what many men misunderstand. They believe a woman wants certainty immediately. She does not. She wants direction. Certainty can be faked. Direction cannot. A stoic man speaks honestly, without selling dreams. He does not guarantee outcomes. He guarantees effort, values, and discipline. And this is what creates trust. Another important sign. She begins to consider your preferences in her long-term decisions. Small things at first. Timing. Location. Priorities. Not because she is losing herself, but because she is exploring integration. This is not sacrifice. This is projection. She is imagining a future where decisions are no longer made alone. And that imagination changes her behavior. She becomes more consistent. More measured. More intentional. Because when a woman sees a man in her future, she treats the present with care. She avoids unnecessary conflict. She communicates more clearly. She values stability over drama. Not because she fears losing you, but because she respects what is forming. One critical warning for men. If you respond to this stage with pressure, with demands for labels, with insecurity, you fracture the image she is building. A woman who wants to go far needs space to arrive at commitment on her own. Stoicism teaches patience, not passivity. You do not retreat. You do not chase. You remain grounded. Because a man who is comfortable with the future does not need to force it. One final truth, learned the hard way. If a woman never includes you in her future language, if she avoids time-based conversations, if everything remains immediate and undefined, she is not protecting herself. She is limiting the horizon. A woman who wants to go far slowly expands the timeline, and watches whether you can stand inside it without fear. A stoic man can. Because he is not afraid of time. He is prepared for it. Sign number 6, she becomes aware of your inner world. A woman who only desires you is focused on how you make her feel. A woman who wants to go far becomes aware of how you feel, even when you don't say it. This shift is quiet. But once you've experienced it, you never confuse it with attraction again. She notices changes. Your silence. Your distance. Your restraint. Not in a confrontational way. Not in a demanding way. But in a watchful way. She asks, "Are you okay?" And actually waits for the answer. She adjusts her tone when she senses weight. She becomes careful with words that once were careless. Not because she fears you, but because she respects your internal space. This is rare. Most relationships fail because neither person sees beyond their own emotional needs. But a woman who wants something lasting learns to step outside herself. Stoicism teaches that every man carries an inner citadel, a private world of thoughts, pressures, and discipline. And when a woman begins to honor that inner world, she is no longer seeking validation. She is offering consideration. Another powerful sign. She begins to protect your emotional boundaries. She doesn't provoke you for reactions. She doesn't test you with jealousy. She doesn't weaponize silence. She understands that a man's strength often lies in restraint. And she no longer tries to break it. This is not submission. This is maturity. She stops asking, "How do I feel right now?" and starts asking, "How does this affect him?" Not obsessively. Not anxiously. But consciously. A Stoic man recognizes this moment, and does not exploit it. He does not open recklessly. He does not dump emotional weight. He shares selectively. He speaks when it matters. Because depth is not about exposure. It is about trust built slowly. You may notice this. She checks in before making decisions that involve you. She asks your opinion, and respects it, even when she disagrees. She avoids crossing lines she once ignored. Not because you demanded respect, but because she chose to give it. This is the highest form of connection. Desire wants possession. Attachment wants security. But commitment wants mutual regard. One difficult truth many men must accept. If a woman never asks about your emotional state, if she dismisses your boundaries, if your inner life is invisible to her, she may want you. But she is not prepared to walk beside you. A woman who wants to go far learns to see the man behind the role. Not just the provider. Not just the protector. But the human being carrying responsibility quietly. And when she adjusts herself, without being asked, to protect that man, she is no longer considering whether to stay. She already has. A Stoic man meets this stage with gratitude, not dependency. He remains centered. He remains self-led. He does not confuse care with control. Because the deepest bond is formed not when two people need each other, but when they choose to honor each other's inner world. And that choice, made quietly, without applause, is what endures. Conclusion. A woman who wants to go far with you will rarely say it directly. She shows it, slowly, consistently, without drama. She invests without being asked. She cares about the direction of your life. She chooses your presence even in stillness. She trusts you with her unpolished self. She places you gently inside her future. And finally, she becomes aware of your inner world. None of these signs are loud. None of them seek attention. Because real intention does not need to be announced. A Stoic man does not chase signs. He observes patterns. He understands that desire is fast, but commitment is patient. That excitement demands effort, but respect grows in calm. And that love capable of enduring time is built in moments most people overlook. What matters is not how intensely she feels, but how consistently she shows up. Not how often she speaks about love, but how naturally she acts in alignment with it. The mistake many men make is trying to secure the future too early. They push for clarity before trust has settled. They demand certainty before time has done its work. A Stoic man does the opposite. He remains grounded. He continues to live with discipline and purpose. He allows her investment to grow, or fade, without resistance. Because he knows this truth. A woman who wants to go far does not need to be convinced. She only needs to feel safe beside a man who is steady in himself. And if she chooses to walk with him, it is not because he held on tightly. It is because he stood firm. And allowed connection to form naturally. Without fear. Without force. Without losing himself. That is Stoic love. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm so happy to share my lessons about love and relationships with you. I hope you learned something new and can apply it to your life. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for always accompanying and supporting me. Wish you a good day and don't forget to love yourself a lot.